to Brendan Ledan. Brendan loses possession. Ball in the hands of Shawnee Line. Shawnee plays it low to Fergus Flynn. Flynn is standing up, kicks the ball to Robert Ford. Ford is going forward. What's he going to do from here? He kicks long and high, and it's brought down by John Keating. Is John fouled? The referee, John Keating, is lying on the ground. Ball well pulled down. John has had to deal with some very, very awkward high balls dropping under the crossbar, but he did very well with that. He came out, and Michael McGann is out, still on the 20-metre line. Has he given a signal? Is it a free out? Michael Talty.
The Naomh team, number 10, David Ryan, replaces number 11, Brendan Rochford.
David Ryan goes in for Brendan Rochford. John Keating gets up, puts on his cap, checks if his leg is okay. I'm sure if Naomh Eoin win this title, that leg will recover very quickly. Ball being kicked out by John Keating. Is it time up? We're certainly well 2 minutes into overtime. Ball is kicked long, out. Fergus Flynn rises. Picked up again by John Mulcahy. Robbie Malone comes forward. Robbie kicks high, and Robbie kicks it wide. Naomh Eoin lead by 8 points to 6. The bonfires have been getting ready back in Kilbahan Cross tonight. There'll be serious celebrating to be done if Naomh Eoin can win this title. Kick out by John Keating. Michael McGann looks at his watch. Is it time up? Ball kick long. Fergus Flynn rises with Dermot Keating. Ball breaks to Gary Flynn. Barry Donnelly. Gary Flynn. Back to Barry Donnelly, free in. What will he do here? Is he going to drop it in? It looks like it's the last play for Eire. Barry Donnelly, number 15, the captain. Kicks long and high, and it's wide. Nine wides for Eire. 8 wides for Naomh Eoin. That surely is the last kick out of the 2005 County Junior A football final. Naomh Eoin lead 8 points to 6. They finished level the first day, won 10 to 13 points. But most importantly, from Naomh Eoin point of view, they're now 2 points ahead. Michael Boland looking very excited and worried on the sideline here. The game is still going on. Number 10, David Ryan, has been reintroduced as a sub. Kicks high and wide again. Eire have had enough chances here to win a couple of county finals. They've had 3 bad wides in the last couple of minutes. 4 minutes extra time played. Tom Bonfield can't understand why there's so much extra time played. They're checking their watches. Michael Boland is looking at his watch as well. Why is Michael McGann playing 4 minutes overtime? Great excitement in West Clare if this title goes back to the West. The senior title is in Kilkee. Will the junior title end up in Kilbahan Cross? And play still goes on. Gary Flynn catches it. Down to Martin Ledan. Martin evades one tackle, gets it over to Michael. And Michael Ledan chased by... Oh, beautiful pick-up by Michael Ledan. Fantastic skill. He's accompanied by Pagini. They can't catch him. Michael Ledan kicks high. Kicks it over the bar. A fantastic pick-up by Michael Ledan. He took on the whole Eire defence. Blistering pace. Right through, put the ball over the bar, and surely this year's county final is over. And the match is now over. The Cup Junior A Championship will return to the villages of Cross and Kilbahan tonight, and a score of 9 points to 6. There is unbridled rejoicing in the stands and on the field here. Naomh Eoin have recaptured the title they last won in '97. It's their third championship title. Tom Bonfield races in, absolutely delirious. What a day for Naomh Eoin. Many thought their chance was gone the first day when they finished 110 to 13 points level with Eire, but they've now turned it around and they've won this title on a score of 9 points to 6. So the title returns to Naomh Eoin for the third time in their history. 91, 97, and history made here today, 2005.
I'm not going to delay you with speeches or anything like that. I'm going to ask Gabriel Keating, I think he's live president of the Naomh Eoin club if I'm not mistaken, to present the trophy to Michael Nadan, the captain of the Naomh Eoin team. To present the trophy to Michael Nadan, captain of the Naomh Eoin team. So,
oxygen tank. I'm absolutely out of my feet up here. So I'm going to keep it short. Naomh Eoin and Curran Shore Glacklas and Fair Naomh Eoin. This is a long time coming, 97. I suppose since we won in Dunbeg, and you think every year you're going to be in a county final, but I was young at 97 when I won it, and it meant an awful lot to me, but it means an awful lot more now, I think, because the older you get, the more you I think you appreciate it, because it might never come around again. So I think it's the thing that if once we won it today, if we didn't win it today, I think that was it. I said a lot of lads would have said to hell with it, and that was it. So I think today we proved that at least we have still got the battle, and hopefully there'll be a couple of older lads still around next year, and we'll keep it going then. I'd like to thank a few lads, a lot of people actually today. First of all, the supporters out there, you've been unbelievable all year. Absolutely, you've raised the roof every single game we played, and this is our 8th game today, so I suppose it's a lot of mileage around the county, and we'd like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because we wouldn't have done it without you, so thanks again. There's a couple of great men I'd like to thank as well. The selectors, Joe Gorman. Joe hasn't hardly missed a session all year. He's unbelievably dedicated to the trainings in particular. He's the quiet man of the selectors, but when he talks, everyone listens. So thank you, Joe. Oliver Keaton. Ollie, great man, on the line. He's done it there in 97, and he's a great head on the line as well. So when everybody around him was losing the head, maybe Ollie kept the head. And a great man to give a speech before a game. So Ollie, thanks a million again. There's no point calling Jack Crowley the quiet man of the club, because if he was behind in New Pit today, you'd still hear him cheering. Gerald's a great man to come out. If the quietest, before a game and everyone's concentrated, Gerald come out with this quip that everybody start laughing at, and he's a great man to break the ice. Excellent man to have in the field as well, and he was with us in 97, so thanks again, Gerald. I suppose the man I'd really like to thank as well for the dedication he's been all year is John Fennell. John is well known around the county through his dancing circles, but by God, Raymond Clancy, and Raymond I'd like to thank if he's here today as well. If he's not, I'd like to thank him anyway on behalf of the club. He was with us in 91, he was with us in 97. John Fennell's name will be on the lips of every club team in Clare in the next couple of years. If we can hold on to him, all the better, but if not, John, I wish you well in whatever you're doing, but hopefully intermediate next year we'll have you. The dedication you put in is unreal all year long. Most lads that have walked out on us early in the year with 5 or 6 lads training, but you kept it going all year, so thanks, John. I'd like to thank the players, lads. We've been together since last January, February, out behind in the pitch. we played Jumbeg, I think, in the challenge game, the first game, and I think, you know, we probably won that day, but we didn't deserve to win, and we've lost a lot of games this year. We got relegated in the league. Nobody dropped the heads. We kept it going. I think that's due to John and the selectors. So, but I mean, the attendance has been brilliant the last couple of weeks. So I'd like to thank you again from the bottom of my heart. We couldn't have done it without you today. David behind me, I'd like to thank you for the life presidency of the club. He's in the background for the last couple of years, but he's always there, and if anything you ever wanted him to do anything, because, you know, it's always there. He's always there, and I think, you know, with Tom and with a few lads, we've got great lads. The Maloney's on the sideline, Johnny Troy there today. If we can keep those lads together for next year, we'll give a good reference to the intermediate. So just before I go to your road boys, I know you've held around there for the last 10 or 15 minutes, and it's not easy. We've been on the losing side before, but by God, you gave us some 2 games. Unbelievable the first game. I thought we'd have lost. You know, you came back at us, you showed your mettle, and you put it up to us again today, and you know, you've some team. I think you're going to go all the way next year in the junior A, and hopefully you will, and we'll meet you in intermediate hopefully. Okay, so well done. 3 cheers to your row. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Let's go back home, and let's go to
Michael, when you uttered those immortal words, someone couldn't show Clare, how did you feel?
top of the world, George. It's a dream come true, so I think you know, it's everybody's dream to captain his club. So I think as captain today, I think and I'm just a voice for the 15 lads on the team and the lads on the line. So I suppose nobody makes up a speech beforehand because it's bad luck. So I probably forgot an awful lot of people on the speech, but I'll be thanking them later on as the week goes on. But a great feeling.
Twice in the drawing game, you led by 4 points. Did you think your chances were gone in the drawing game?
Yeah. I mean, at half time, we always start well in every game this year, and we always start well after half time, but we always lose it about maybe towards the middle of the second half. So it came to the backs. Kieran Lynch and a few of the lads, you know, really pulled it out of the fire because those forwards were gone. We missed an awful lot of scores. So it was the backs in midfield that kept us in the first game. But I think today we were under the cosh again, especially when we were in the 8-6. But I suppose we just pulled the lash point out of it, and that was good enough for us.
Was there any one moment today when you felt that this could be our day?
John Keaton save, unbelievable. I had my hands in my head. I couldn't even watch it, and then I just looked up, and Shawnee Lyon kicked it, and Shawnee being, I suppose, his last year playing maybe, and I was sure he was going to roof it into the top corner of the net or something. But when John Keaton came out and saved it, I said, "This is it. We're going to win this."
And will there be any work in the peninsula, do you think, the coming week?
I don't think so. Half the peninsula is here today, so most of the peninsula is here, so there won't be a cow milton in the immortal words. I suppose there won't be a cow milton in West Clare this year. But I think, you know, the supporters have been with us all year, and they deserve more than even the players, I think. So we will definitely celebrate well into maybe there might be another bank holiday this Monday.
Okay, Michael. Thanks a million.
Thank you, George. Thank you. Okay. Thanks.
Kieran, you got the job of marking their dangerman to August dangerman Brian Lennon. How did you cope with that?
I did okay, I suppose. He didn't score anyway, so that was the main objective, and I didn't give away too many frees, I don't think. Yeah, he's young and he's fast, all right, but I suppose I used a bit of my experience to keep him the right side of me at all time anyway. And a few of the balls broke off him, you know, he was a bit unlucky with a couple of balls and they broke my way, and that's with a bit of luck and a bit of experience and whatever, we got there anyway.
This is your third medal.
That's right.
Is this the highlight?
It is, yeah. I suppose this one was the hardest one probably for me. I mean, the first one I was only playing for a few years, and the second one there was another couple of years back in junior. But this one we've been trying since '97, really. You know, we've been meeting for a couple of years, but we've been back, you know, in junior for a few years, and it's been on a league basis. So the year has been longer than that. So it's been more work now. This year has been a long year, and last year was the same. And we got to semi-final. So yeah, this one I suppose will be sweet now when I sit back and think about it.
Where do you think you won it today? On what section of the field? time?
I thought that there wasn't a lot of ball that came into their full forward line like that. You know, my man, and the same with the other corner, they got very few chances. So the guys cut out the position. Foley had a good game, I thought. He's you know, and the lads around him, Pagani and Tony in the half back line, cut out a lot of the ball coming through, whether they made mistakes and put it in the wrong place or what. But we just didn't seem to be under that much pressure until the last few minutes there. A lot of their scores before that were from frees. So I suppose we cut out their position coming from their half-backs into our half-forwards. And the lads in half-forwards today, more than the last, they put pressure on their kickers, you know, and forced them to hoof the ball up to us or hoof the ball up to our end more than the last day. They had less time to pick out passes than that, and maybe that's where we won it. I suppose Seamus kicked a few nice frees as well. Like most chances we got there when we needed to, he scored them. And you know, around the pitch, everyone has did their bit.
Was there any one moment that will stick in your memory for the rest of your days out of that game today?
I suppose the one in terms of that I thought we had won was when I knew the time must have been up and Mikey scored the point there. I was hoping he'd be fouled. He was running through and I was hoping he'd be brought down because you know, I thought like there might be not a minute or whatever, and just to make sure of it, a free would be better than a point at that stage. But he kicked the point anyway, fair play to him, as he usually does. I suppose then I thought we would have it. I expect the whistle to come, and that'll stick in the memory. I mean, on the negative end, they had a good chance and they hit the post that came out, and the other corner got it at the edge of the square and he went for goal and John dived and saved it. So I'll remember that one too, because that would have put him probably a point up, or certainly level. I'm not sure. I'd say we're only 2 up at that stage. I would have probably put him a point up. It would have been hard to come back at him again, you know. But we'd have done it all right. Maybe we might have forced extra time out of it if it had to.
And finally, Kieran, seeing that you're one of the older citizens there, is there any talk of retiring back in Naomh Eoin?
There's been talk. There's been a lot of talk, but no, I'm not retiring. I'm giving it next year anyway, at least, and we'll see after that. Please God, we'll be fit enough to do it, and we'll keep going. I'll be 38 like Georgie. It's not a time to come about retiring when you're 38, for God's sake.
Well, congratulations again, Kieran, on your third medal.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Joined by Martin Downs and Martin Hock, the engine room of the Naomh Eoin team. Lads, you had a couple of big men to deal with out there today, Martin. How did you cope with them?
I didn't think we'd play either well. I didn't play that well either today, like the two of us. Like, you know, last week we played okay in the first half, but second half we were bad, and today we were kind of out of it as well there for a long time, like, you know. But I suppose we came good in the finish.
Yeah. Where did you think they were strong around the field, Martin?
Well, they were strong in the midfield, but there was that full back or the full forward came out that 2 midfield, like, and he crippled us there in the first half, like, you know. He was strong, like, you know.
Michael Ledan took an awful lot of pressure off you when you got the ball up there. What do you think of his performance?
Well, of course, today they had him checking a lot more, like, he didn't get the room as he got the Leicester, like, you know, but fair play to him, when he got it, he held it, and he took it. Even as long as he killed it, he gave us the chance, like, you know. Right. But he had to keep doing it for us, because we were kind of dying away with it.
Martin, turn to you. Robert Ford arrived out there for a lot of that game. He was doing a lot of punch ball. How did you cope with that?
I don't know, we didn't cope too well. Usually now we try and catch the ball, but today it wasn't a case of catching it all. He was coming in with no intention of catching and just breaking it, and I don't know, he got the best of us all right, but at the end of the day we got the more scores, so that's the main thing anyway.
Was there any one moment that stood out in that game for you?
I think when Michael Dan got the score in the second half, he went off on a run and he kicked the ball at full flight and it went over. I mean, that was crucial. It's like we were under a lot of pressure on our backs to get the ball out for us, and then it was great to see the ball going up the end of the field anyway, and we were feeling tired at that time.
At what stage of the game did you feel that this was going to be your day?
I'd say that score at the end, the last score that put us 3 points clear, and going into the last few minutes, by then I felt really safe. I mean, up until that it was...
John Finlay would say, like, when the referee's the ball in his hand, he says he's walking off the pitch, that's when it's safe, he says, like, you know. And he was fucking right too.
Yeah.
Now, what are your plans for the rest of the weekend and for next week?
I don't know.
I suppose we might go for we'll do what the key boys do, maybe.
We'll do what you guys do, yeah.
A light social drink, as they said, is it?
There'll be a few bonfires in West Clare.
I hope so. Well, there was last time, I said there will be again, yeah.
Okay, congratulations, Martin Downs and Martin Hock.
Well
done.
Thanks very much.
Right, I'm joined by Kieran Lynch and Pat Foley, number 3, number 6, and the successful Naomh Eoin team. Kieran, starting with you, where did you think all the pressure came from Eire today?
Well, they worked it up to the middle a lot. Tried to draw out their full forward to make more space inside, I thought. It was hard to know where to go to come in. But I stayed inside anyway, it worked okay for us.
You had a couple of close calls near the end there. What got you out of jail?
Look, just goes for people in the day. Either do or you don't. You get your breaks in the day. You could have easily went into the net as well. So,
what stage of the game did you think that was going to be your day?
5 minutes after the whistle, let's say.
Okay. Pat, turning to you. Where do you think your strengths lay today on the Naomh Eoin team?
Well, the first day we played some great football in spells, like, and today we kept it going throughout the game consistently, and we were called on a bit of heart. We lacked a bit of heart the last day. We were under pressure, the last 15 minutes of both halves, we kind of dropped their heads when they put it up to us. But today, when they put it up to us, I think we reacted better. We attacked the ball, we got out in front of our men. Our full back line there was brilliant today. There was long balls kicked in the last day. The corner forwards were picking it up and running. Today, the corner forwards weren't even getting the ball. Our full back line was out in front of their men. And it was a great lift to see them lads coming out with it. You know, first out to the ball. We were that today. I don't think we were the first day. We were at it all the last 2 weeks that we had to step it up. Step it up a gear that we had to dictate the pace. And once we knew we'd do that, we were well in the show for winning.
Your defence as a unit was standing today. Where did you feel that when you got the ball out of defence, where were the strong points you were looking for to get the ball to?
Well, we were told that week to keep it wide open, keep it playing football. I mean, any of us saw the county final, senior final last week, Kilkee playing, and they kept playing football. And it's a thing with Naomh Eoin as well. We're good football inside, and lads said we lack strength. The last day, you know, when they put it up to us in the middle of the field and crowded out, we weren't up to it. But I think today we're up for it. And when we found the wings, found Michael Ledane, Seamus, Vincent, Dermot, Martin Ledane, tremendous work. Brendan Ledane when he was there, you know, all the forwards, Vincent Henry when he came on, Garrod, outstanding stuff in the wing. He's kind of sacrificed as a forward. He comes back, covers the space in front of us, gives us a chance to attack in the backs and work the ball through the middle. But outstanding scores today again, Michael Ledane and Seamus Boland. Brilliant.
Kieran and Pat, both of you have 2 junior medals now, so it's intermediate now. When is the intermediate championship going to rest back in Cross and Kilbaha?
Hopefully we'll take a break now for a few nights and we'll talk about intermediate next year. But I mean, we're not going to get swelled heads. Like, we're going to go. It's all about attitude and heart. Like, take each game as it comes. I mean, you can't talk about winning an intermediate championship when you get the first round. Do you know, the first round is the hardest part. Anything can happen after that. The same thing. That's the way we went this year. We took every game, you know, as it came along. Like, and we kept. It was a tough battle all year. Like, it was a strong game in the semi-final. And we kept going. You know, it wasn't easy, but we kept at it, and we're here now.
Okay, well done again, Kieran and Pat, on your championship victory. Well done. Okay, Michael, tell us about the preparation for this championship, the amount of work you did during the year and how often you met, etc.
Well, I'll have to leave that up to John and John Finnell, because I was only in the background, but they prepared harder than they ever prepared before for any championship we won, any game we won. The training, everything was done, everything was looked after. There was no stone left unturned, and we had a feeling this year this was going to be our year because of the couple of lads there that are getting old. But in fairness, there was no stone left unturned in our side or in the lads that were training. Like, and we proved it today because we were supremely confident coming into this game today that we were going to beat our own.
Well done. John, tell me about the commitment involved from the players.
Georgie, sure, they're a great bunch of fellas, like, do you know what I mean? They put in huge work this year. Travelled, you know what I mean? Travelled from Cork and even a guy today travelled from Dallas to be here for the final, you know. But a great commitment, but driven on by John, like, do you know what I mean? John was the man. John drove him on. You know, from the Clare game, I sensed that things were going to happen for us this year because every game we played, we deserved to win them games this year. Last year, we were winning games, but we were going bad. But this year, every game we won, starting with the Clare game, we won, and the Callans Mills game, we drew it and we won it again. You know, and luckily that we were able to. We drew the last day here. We learned from our mistakes. John told the players and showed the mistakes, and we put it right today. And this is what it's a great achievement to win the junior championship because this is only the 3rd time we've won it. So it is a great day for us.
Okay, John. Many felt your chance was gone from the drawing game. You led by 4 points twice in that game. How did you motivate the players to tell them that their chance wasn't gone, that they were back in this with a real fight?
Well, it was very, very simple, Georgie. I mean, to turn on the first half of the game, 6 points apiece at half time, analyse the Eire scores. Where did they come from? They came from mistakes, ball given away cheaply by our own team. The boys put up their hands, they were very honest with themselves all week long, and they put up their hands and they said, by right, the score was 6 points to 0 at half time. If we had cut out all the mistakes. And that's what we did today. We cut out the mistakes. Second half of the drawn game, much the same thing. Got our lead, lost our concentration, and gave the initiative back to Eire. Today, we got ahead. We were never been led at any stage in the drawn game or today. We have never been led by Eire. We were never behind at any stage. We haven't been behind all year long, and that's what I kept drilling into the boys. They were the only unbeaten team coming back into this final today, and we had nothing. We were afraid of nothing. Boys had a lot to answer for. Each player had to stand up and be counted. The occasion got to the younger boys the last day. It didn't get them today. They were in the game right from the throw-in. They got involved. They put in the tackles. Eire didn't walk cheaply through defences the way they walked through the last day, and they were expecting to walk through, but they were met with a wall of defence today. And I would accredit this victory today to the 6 boys in the back line today. They worked tirelessly throughout the game. You know, it's easy to get the scores on the other end of the park and create the spaces, but all credit due to the 6 boys today. They're still up to be counted.
Right, you had many good individual displays there, in fact outstanding individual displays, but as a unit I felt you won the game. There was some fantastic football played, particularly in the second half out of defence.
Yes, the objective of the game today was, unlike the last day, we were going to carry the ball to centre field. See what became of it, see how the spaces opened up, and then work your ball in. The last day we carried the ball out, we drove it out straight into Eire attacks, and they propelled us back in our backsides again to the last day. Today they didn't do that, and they were picking scraps with 10 minutes to go. They were trying to grab a lifeline and get back into the game. Keeper kept us in it, in all fairness to him. He brought off a couple of marvellous saves. Full back fielded some great ball in there. But you rightly said, George, it was a team performance today. Okay, there's a lot goes to Pat Foley and Michael Adan, inter-county experience in that, and Seamus Boland. But those boys, we knew they were going to be shepherded today. They were well marked. They were picked out the last day because they did the damage the last day. Today, other boys did the damage.
Okay.
You know.
John, turning to you, at what stage did you feel that the cup was going to rest back in Cross and Kilbaha tonight?
Well, in the second half, with the performance of the defence, I felt confidence once we made a good start there in the second half. I felt then it was going west.
Right, okay. And Michael, what are the plans for the coming week? There won't be many cows milked, I'd say, back around the peninsula this week.
Everyone is off now for the week, and we must follow Kilkee next Sunday.
Okay, all right. Thanks again, John and Michael.
Thanks.
Joe, you're part of the 3 wise men. What moves did you make today that brought the cup back to West Clare?
Well, I suppose we tried a lot of little moves. I couldn't tell you one in particular that worked, but I think overall it was just a great team performance. Everyone, anything that was asked of them, they did, and I couldn't really say there was one move in particular. But you know, we knew that Johnny Lane, he liked the high ball, and we tried to get the ball in behind him. Once that went in, we had them in inside to score. You know.
Okay, Joe, what players stood out for you on the Naomh Eoin team today?
I suppose from number 1 to number 21, really. Every one of them have given it their heart all year long. You couldn't pick out one individual above anyone else now, to be honest, today. They're brilliant lads. The amount of training, the amount of work they've done is unreal. So they're just a brilliant squad to work with.
Oliver, where do you think he won that game today?
I suppose bringing Dermot out to midfield, Dermot Keaton had a big influence in the game, and when you win midfield, you're in with a great chance. And the amount of hitting that Seamus and Michael and the forwards took and just got on with it, held their heads, kept going, took their frees, took their scores when they got their chances. That was the winner. Solid defence, brilliant. John played brilliant in goals. Defence solid, won midfield, and we won on the forwards. And when you do all that, you're going to win. Simple as that.
Ger, what was the outstanding moment of that game for you today?
I think the ball coming off the upright, it went to the Eire man, and like he said, John made a magnificent save. At that stage, I think we were 2 points up. If they had scored that time, we would have lifted them, and we would have been in deep trouble. But fair play to him, he pulled off a great save, and we have the cup now.
Joe, who were you worried about on that Eire team today?
I'm sure Barry Donnelly and I think Rory O'Brien wing forward caused a lot of trouble the last day. But in fairness, our wing backs, they played outstanding job today. Tony Doherty, Pagini, Pat Foley, outstanding. Johnny Lyon, great player, has proved it all along. Great fielder ball, but I think we got the better of them today.
Well, there's any truth in the rumour that Donny Buckley and his men will be looking for 3 extra wise men from the peninsula?
Well, I don't know if they're looking for anyone that's out in the field, I'd say, never mind the sideline, but there's certainly a few on the field that they do well to keep an eye on.
Okay.
But I'd say we'll stick with the crowd we have.
Okay, thanks again from the 3 wise men,
thanks,
Oliver, Joe and Ger. They were back in the peninsula approximately a year. What has struck you about the commitment of the Naomh Eoin players?
Well, what struck me, I suppose, was the way that they stuck together all the year, you know, and I suppose early in the year I remembered it was very difficult, you know, just to get things going, and well, now I was only on the outsides and just looking in, but then once the championship started, I just felt that there was a kind of an excitement or a buzz about it, and lads interested in talking about the game, and you know, so that's what struck me, was just the way the team kind of rallied around each other.
Father, what players stood out for you today on the field for Naomh Eoin?
Well, I suppose what really struck me more than the player, than any one player, was the way that they stuck to their purpose, their plans. You know, they stayed focused all through, and they were talking about it there during the week. You know, that the big thing was that they would stay focused, stay concentrating, and I think that everyone did it throughout the field today. They never gave up. You know, and even there at the end when Eire were coming at them, you know, they just kept rallied around each other, and so it was more the team effort. But no, lots of people stood out, or lots of people played great football. But to me, that was what that'll stick with me. You know, the way that they kind of play together for each other.
Right. Is there any truth in the rumour that you were asked to say a lot of masses over the last couple of weeks?
I was asked to say a good few prayers, all right.
Okay, thanks again, Father, for that.
Lovely.
Thanks. Gabriel, Naomh Eoin is in existence 31 years now. How does today compare with the highlights of those years?
I would say to compare, there's no comparison. Today has been superb. Like in the other years, in the 90s, we had the nucleus of teams all along. We have been winning and losing. But today you had youth, you had experience. And I think we'll do a lot for the parish. You know, it's a mighty occasion. It's a fantastic win.
Ger, Oliver and Joe are locals, but you brought in John Finnell. Tell me about the influence of John.
I think you could see the influence of John there in the backup play, in the support play, especially there towards the end when things were getting tough. John Keating came out there under balls, dangerous balls, found his man, then turned and found their men, and next thing it ended up with Michael Edan or Seamus Bourne at the far side, popping it over.
What did you think was the strong point of the Naomh Eoin team today?
I think, well, of course, you'd have to single out the performance of Michael Edan. You know, he's a great man. He's really, really superb. And of course, he didn't win 3 Sigerson Cups or nothing, you know. But I think that what stood out today was the back play and the support play. I mean, we never had that before. You get a ball, you're clear, you'll be glad to get rid of it in a junior match. But like today, we were able to deliver.
Right. Eire really put on the pressure there for the last couple of minutes of normal time and the 4 minutes of extra time. How worried were you at that stage?
I was very worried because everybody that went out seemed to come in again. You know, you get that feeling. But as I said before, John Keating was superb in goals, and I was happy once he was in control. I felt that we could hold them out, you know.
Okay, Gabriel, congratulations again on Naomh Eoin's third junior title, and we look forward to them annexing the intermediate title in the years to come.
Well, Georgie, it's great to talk to you, and you were such a great player yourself, played for Clare and played for Kilkee, and you kept the flag flying for years. And I'm delighted to see you back involved again, and of course it's also good to see Joe, and it's a great day for Naomh Eoin. It's a great day for us all, and I suppose when you think of the 6th of January 74, and then when we won our first championship our first league in November 76, we've come a long way, and I'd say you've only seen the start of this team. Okay. Thanks again.
Congratulations, okay. Gabriel. Paddy, what brought a man resident in Dublin, a Naomh Eoin man, back to West Clare today?
Well, I suppose all down through the years, I remember the day Naomh Eoin was started in 74, and you know, when we were growing up, through no fault of anybody, we often went down to Harris to be collected to go to a match, and the worst thing going is not to be collected, through no fault of anybody at the time. We didn't have a pitch or a ball. So thanks to the people that got it going in 74, and from that day onwards, I always said whatever we could do, the Gibsons and the Bonfils and Finbar Lynch and whoever else above, we would do our best to keep the Naomh Eoin team going. So that's really the reason, and I just want to congratulate the lads, and especially the lads, if the rest of the team don't mind me saying, Michael Edan went up to County Meath, and I suppose Dermot Keating went down to Cork, and when they decided to come back, they came back to Naomh Eoin, so I think that was very important. So all I have to say is congratulations, and the journey from Dublin doesn't really matter once Naomh Eoin won.
Right, Marty, you've been at all the matches this year. Which match, at what stage did you think that this was going to be Naomh Eoin's year?
Well, the evening again, Kilfenora and Milltown. They played some lovely football.
Right, did it match the teamwork that they had today here? They had some very good individual performances today, but their teamwork was superb.
Oh, it was, and they did players come into today like that wasn't in it all the year like. We won't mention any names, but they're rose to the occasion today.
Is there any truth in the rumour that you went to Father Casey back there and asked him to say a lot of prayers over the last number of weeks?
Well, he's a help anyway. He's only in the parish for just over a year, and fair play to him, a grand man, and I suppose he said a few, and they were needed, like.
Paddy, is there any truth in the rumour you're taking a week off? You won't be going back to Dublin for about a week.
Well, seeing I was down last weekend, I took in the county final, and congratulations to Kilkee. I enjoyed it, and I was down the weekend before that. But anyhow, I would be coming down, I suppose, to see my parents. But definitely, we probably could make a day or two out of it. But we'll enjoy it because it's very important to us. As we say, we're back at the very end of the peninsula, and the next parish is America. So we'll make the most of it. These days are very important days.
Tom, you've thrown in your lot now with a team in Limerick called Monaleen. How important is Naomh Eoin to you?
George, Naomh Eoin will always be important to me. I've played with Naomh Eoin since I was 14 years old. I moved to Limerick in 1978. I'm down there 25 years. I suppose I'd love to be involved in a more influential capacity within the club. I acted as a selector for the last couple of years. When John took over chairman of the club, I gave him a hand for 2 years. We won the Banner Cup, and I found this year particularly, as you mentioned, Monaleen. I'm living in Monaleen now. I'm very involved with the juvenile board, and we have a successful under-14 team, and my own lads are playing in that. And I suppose there comes a time when you have to pull back a bit, and I've decided in the last year or two to pull back. But I always look out for the results from Naomh Eoin. I've always coached the matches as much as I can. I haven't been to see them all this year, but I made it my business to see the final certainly, and today's replay is just absolutely brilliant for the club.
Is it a coincidence that Monaleen are red and Naomh Eoin are red? Is that the reason you picked Monaleen?
That's probably a fair assessment of it. I'm delighted that it is red and white. I know you being a Kilkee man wouldn't agree with that, you're blue and white, but it's great to have the red and white flag flying in the driveway. I've had it flying in the driveway since Monaleen won the senior championship 6 weeks ago at this stage, and now I can say it's a Naomh Eoin flag. So I really couldn't lose that one, could I, George?
At what time today, Tom, or what stage in the match did you feel it was going to be Naomh Eoin's day?
I felt when number one Eire hit the crossbar late the second half, I said our luck is in, because we've actually never won a championship final replay until today. I played in 9 finals. I lost 7 in a row, and of the 7 in a row we lost, 5 in a row, 3 of them went to replays. And today somebody said in Tubridy's after the draw match, Naomh Eoin had never won a replay. So today's a bit of history in itself. Naomh Eoin have won a replay. It's the first time they've won a championship final replay, and I suppose they've broken that hoodoo now, and hopefully they'll go on. It's great for the club, it's great for the peninsula. We're a small club, very small parish. I suppose a population of 300 or 400 people, struggling to put out numbers, as you can see, with only 16, 17, 18 players. And it's great, particularly as the lads said, that the players that are able to play can come back and play. I travelled with Naomh Eoin for training up and down for 15, 16 years with the Milanis. And, you know, when the time comes, I suppose, to pull back, you got to do so. But I'm still my heart is in Naomh Eoin, will always be, and it's great that Monaleen are red and white, as you say.
And finally, Tom, your son Dara was at the game today. Is there any truth in the rumour he's been groomed to wear the red of Naomh Eoin?
Well, he's wearing red and white anyway at the moment. He said to me today he wanted to come to see the match. So I suppose maybe that's a good start. He's coming to see the match. No more than Barry Fitzpatrick playing next Sunday for Monaleen. He maybe should be wearing something people tell you maybe blue and white. Daisy Crowe said to me coming in today, he says, how come all these West Clare fellas are going down to Limerick? And Peter O'Connell smiled and said to Peter, it's a thing called employment. Unfortunately, that's the way life is. Dara would love to play obviously with Naomh Eoin, but the thing is he's grown up in Monaleen, his friends are in Monaleen. But we won't rule it out. It might happen in the future, George.
Okay. How did you feel, Tom, when Michael Ledan lifted the cup, which was for the 3rd time in the history of Naomh Eoin?
When Michael Ledan lifted the trophy, the Turner Cup there, it's 30 odd years, as you say, 3 times in 30 years. It was just fantastic. Relief to see it. More relief than joy, I think. A lot of people were crying actually. I looked around me and there were several people crying with enjoyment and crying with excitement. But I just looked there and said, God, I hope it's not going to be maybe 7 or 8 years again. But having said that, a moment of just fantastic relief, I thought, because I didn't really want them to lose this replay. I mean, to lose a replay would be tough justice on this team, because they've fought really hard in the 2 matches, particularly with the last 10 minutes there. They defended heroically, tremendous defending. Eire got a few chances, and at the end of the day,
the presentation was made by Gabriel, which I thought was a great gesture on behalf of the county board. He's the life president of the club, to present the trophy to Michael then, and I said it was one of sheer relief as far as I was concerned.
Okay, congratulations again, Tom, on your third time.
Okay, George, thank you very much.
And that's it from Clare, where Naomh Eoin won the Turner Cup for the third time in their history, 91, 97 and now 2005. They beat Eire today on a score of 9 points to 6.